Jacob, this shit crack.
Tailgate jumping. Bills to from Buffalo, I bet they loving this heat. Panthers from the Carolinas, Bengals, Cincinnati. Dog pound in the house, repping Cleveland, Ohio. Denver on the scene, and they repping them Broncos. The weather beautiful, it ain't a cloud in the sky. I see them Lions, Titans, and Bears, oh my.
You might not like my team, we might be rivalry.
Whatever it is, make sure you respect me.
We gon' always trash talk, in season and off.
But not too serious.
Gotta keep it football. You might not like my team, we might be rivalry.
Whatever it is, make sure you respect me.
We gon' always trash talk, in season and off.
But not too serious.
Gotta keep it football.
Green Bay tailgating, yelling go pack go. LA Rams, LA Chargers, Indianapolis Colts. Kansas City celebrating like it's still Super Bowl. Houston, Texas came deep and fired up the grill. Briskets, baby back, the ish just got real. Jacksonville Raider fans, all love, no hating. Miami Dolphins, Minnesota, New England Patriots. This is epic, all teams 32 tailgating.
You might not like my team, we might be rivalry.
Whatever it is, make sure you respect me.
We gon' always trash talk, in season and off.
But not too serious.
Gotta keep it football. You might not like my team, we might be rivalry.
Whatever it is, make sure you respect me.
We gon' always trash talk, in season and off.
But not too serious.
Gotta keep it football.
New York came through, both Giants and Jets. Trash talking done started, both sides placing bets. New Orleans Saints set up shop like we on Bourbon Street. It's so nice to see the Washington football team. Philadelphia Eagles came through with the game. 49ers showing out, representing the Bay. Police showed up to make sure we was straight. They gave us love and respect, and we made them play. Seattle Seahawks, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the AFC, the NFC, man, they all up in here. Black and yellow on repeat from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ladies shaking pom-poms, tailgating cheerleaders. The DJ on fire playing all the hits, man. Everyone here, they tailgate mad lit. Dallas Cowboys showed up and they was deep as flow. They was chatting, dance, stepping, yelling, Cowboy up!
You might not like my team, we might be rivalry.
Whatever it is, make sure you respect me.
We gon' always trash talk, in season and off.
But not too serious.
Gotta keep it football. You might not like my team, we might be rivalry.
Whatever it is, make sure you respect me.
We gon' always trash talk, in season and off.
But not too serious.
Gotta keep it football.
Hi haters, that's 3-0 in December. I don't know what Dallas Cowboy team y'all was talking about. We live here at the post-game Cowboy Cousins report. I got my man BG Bob and we got Eric B. Bunch of B's together here today. How y'all doing down there, baby?
Doing good, doing good. Denver checking in right now, man. Just feeling good after another great NFC East win, man. Feeling real good, man.
What's up, Eric B? Where'd he go? Oh, he's not on there now. At least we don't have a bottle of water with him here today, so we're good to go, man. So what's up?
Oh, there he comes. See, yeah. There he is. All right, there we go. Check in, EB.
No
hey, Whiskey Ginger. I had to reload.
EB's in the holiday spirit, man.
Holidays, happy holidays. We win. What's our record? 10-4. I mean, we're winning our
10-4, good buddy.
Come on.
I mean,
10-4, good buddy.
It's just like my man King Sharon says. It's just what the doctor ordered, and that's that Dan Quinn defense, baby. Just Quinn, baby. Just Quinn.
Ooh. Look, man, it's good. It is real good to see what they're doing, flying around, making plays, causing disruptions. EB pointed out early on in our conversation, because we've been talking every game day for like 40 years. He was talking about, hey, did you notice who he started off at safety? Those were all Dan Quinn guys. Those are Dan Quinn guys sitting back there in the backfield. DeMonte Casey, right? And Keon O'Neal, right? And then these guys making plays. Yeah, J-Ron Curse, a couple of guys that are out there, man. The defense is, if nothing else, here's the deal. If nothing else, this defense is 100% performing for the coaching staff. Whether any people believe, if some of these free agents believe they're going to be here next year or not, doesn't really matter. It doesn't seem like they're playing for contracts. It seems like they're playing for a spot to get into the big dance, and they're doing it for DQ for sure, 100%. And today they showed up, man. The offense it's still weird. It's still weird. It's very weird. Maybe we did exactly what we needed to do just to get through this game. Combined, I think Zeke and Pollard had about 120 yards or something like that. So two gimpy running backs. Yeah, two dinged up running backs equals one good running back, apparently, in our team, because these guys are both extra special. But yeah, the offense needs to come together. I'm seeing CD drop a lot of passes, which to me is starting to get a little worrisome. And I don't know. In the middle of it all, Dak played a better game. I think the offensive line, though, is what made him kind of take a little bit of a step back today, because the O-line is just now starting to mesh again. That lineup that we saw today was the lineup we had for that 6-game winning streak. So I feel like these guys are going to pull it together right at the time they need to. So, I don't know, man. I got nothing but hope here.
We're going to have to, because we got another division game that's coming up week, right? And then we got, the Arizona Cardinals getting their asses handed to them by the Detroit other Lions.
And we're going to be right here. We're going to be right here next week playing the what the fuck team. So that's going to be a beautiful thing, man. It's going to be a good time to be at home. I don't know if having Arizona lose these games is good for us. I'd like to see the losing streak start with us instead of kind of end with us.
It is good for us.
You never know. It's good. Yeah, D-Hop is hurt.
Right in the hunt. It's keeping us right in the hunt. It's a good thing. If they don't have good mojo and they're losing guys, that could happen to any team. But we've won 3 in a row, and that's on the road, by the way. So 3 in a row on the road in December. So now we're fixing to have 2 home games where we can really just run our, all of a sudden we're 5 in a row. We got to, then who knows what's going on? Like, bring on Washington next week. Bring them on. The foreskins.
Yeah, they're coming.
We're live in 3 different places. We're live on the BDG page. We're live in OAT, the only group right there, over 20,000 members, diehard, connecting on and off these Facebook streets. And we're live on YouTube. So we appreciate all our folks checking in from YouTube. What's up, Justin? We see you. Hello from Texas. Let's give some shout outs right quick. Hey, Wendy, how you doing? Supporters on the line. We got King sharing already. Get to work, baby. Get to share. If you're happy that the Dallas Cowboys are 3-0 in December, I need you to share this video right now.
Be Red. Shout out to Be Red.
What's up, Kenneth Wallace? We see you, baby. See some new names. Blake Thomas. Got supporters. Yeah, that's right. 10-4, baby. Where, all this narrative, Dallas is going to be Dallas in December, but suck it, haters. We're 3-0 in December. You know what I mean? If you're happy about that, share this video. I need y'all to share this video before we go all the way in here. We got the
Dallas is going to be.
Go ahead, Bob.
Sarah, what's up, Sarah? Dallas is going to be Dallas in December. It's just not the Dallas they're thinking. It's not the Dallas people might be used to. It's not the Dallas we're used to, if I'm being honest. Hey, F you, Facebook user. How's it going, baby? Thank you so much for checking in.
At least one, right?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. The most consistent, if not streak for one particular user is definitely Facebook user. So good looking out.
Right. We got the good doctor with us. Hey, we see you down there in Compton. Good doctor. Appreciate you checking in. One share. Let us know you care, baby. We 3-0 in December.
What up, bag?
Hey, you heard that stat? Hey, you heard that stat about Dan Quinn's D? Dan Quinn's D has created, 3 turnovers in the last 4 games in a row, and that hasn't happened since 94. I don't know the exact stats, sorry, but there's a stat there that's connecting this D to 94. And last time I heard, that defense took us to the Super Bowl.
Fingerprint is all over this defense. We even got an international Facebook user. Watch me. I'm going to try my bilingualness here. It says, saludos amigos desde la ciudad de Monterrey, Mexico. So shout out to our primos and our primas down there. You know what I mean? We bilingual around here. What's up, Stephen Keever? We see you. Right? As if our offense as a whole can afford those drips. I know, man. I got problems with CD, man. 88 Club, I am not happy about that shit. You know what I mean? I am not happy about that.
Hey, I'll put it on the equipment manager. Sorry, BG. The equipment manager needs to have CD in a shaded and a visor that's faded out, shaded out, tinted out in the first half, and then during the other half, they need to take it and put the other one on because he missed it twice because of the sun.
Yeah, but he also missed it 2 more times, not because of the sun.
Look, the sun is going to be there. What side of the field? I mean, same shit in AT&T Stadium. Like, you know that. Make adjustments. Like, you're a professional player. Like, once every blue moon, okay, I don't know how many drops that CD had, but it was too many for me in that game to be in the 88 club. But Miss Perez checking in says, nobody choking this year like them haters stay saying, well, them haters is choking on that. They choking on that D right about now, baby. But give us your game analysis. What you think about that game, Eric B, down there in Florida? For everybody joining us, this is Eric B, big supporter of the page here, big time family member of Bob. You know, they brothers of another mother, but you know how they run together. Birds of a feather flock together. What's your game analysis, Eric B, overall?
I'm not happy with clock management and not being able, 9 seconds left at the half. Let's wait till 3 seconds and then call a timeout and just a forgiven field goal at the end. I don't like the mentality that McCarthy has going with that offense. It should be super aggressive, always trying to score points. And he leaves a lot of opportunities on the field during halves and stuff. And I don't like that about him. But that's to be blunt. Our offense needs to come together. Our defenses can take us to where we need to go. And hopefully it all chimes right into that come playoff time.
I think Bob and I were talking about this earlier. The defense is holding us up, and we get it. This offense has the gas and the spark. We just can't put it together. But Caitlin's checking in here. Our OAT admin and supporter says, I'm starting to feel like we're becoming a defensive team with an offense capable of a shootout. So I agree. We could go off at any moment's notice like TNT. Boom!
Yeah, and I still question some calls. I think it was tightened up a little bit this week, but we were talking last week about Kellen Moore. I know recently you were asking whether he's head coach material. I'm still wondering if he's OC material. But I think at this point today, he started doing what Kellen always starts off with, which is these bizarre screens and weird times and odd situations, which at least in my mind, I'm always hoping that he's doing this so that later on in the game, he goes back to it, but in a different way. You know, when they start saying, oh, we saw this look in the first half, let's react this way to it. And then he comes out and he does something from left field, but that doesn't happen anymore. But today, I think some of those silly plays were limited a little bit. I think that at the same time of criticizing him and saying that he's not really fresh with some of his gameplay calls, he did keep things correct. I think he put a good balance of run pass in there. Unfortunately, when Zeke was in there, it just wasn't that great except for on a couple occasions. But he did what he needed to do. And Zach, man, we all know that Zeke is one of those guys. You put him in the red zone, he should be able to find that touchdown for us, and he did. And he's a strong guy. I think he's being used correctly. I just think that the running game was the most important thing. And for us to get 122 yards on the ground today, that was big. That's a big part of the success. But this shit, we should have won by 40 points against these guys. They are garbage, 100% garbage. But the offense isn't clicking. So we're going to have to wait for that to happen on both ends, just like it was for about 7 games.
It's going to have to happen this week against what the fuck team? Because we got the Cardinals. You know, that's going to be a sour taste. They got the Detroit Lions D all in their mouth today. So they're taking an L over there. But shout out to our watchers our viewers on YouTube. We see you. Aloha down in Hawaii. Kramer, appreciate you always tuning in. But here's an important stat. Thank you, Stephen Key. Brought up CD Lamb with 4 drops. He pulled a Dak Prescott
at least
today. Like, how many targets did he have, Stephen? Throw that up there. Let's look at how many targets versus how many drops. Like, that's unacceptable. So the narrative on Dak saying Dak is in a slump, I mean, our receivers are not helping him when we got clearly the 88 guy with 4 drops.
I'll go with it. I'll go with eight attempts and 4 drops.
And 4 catches.
I mean, 50% of the balls at CD Lamb.
And then on top of that I don't know if you guys remember that really weird screen to Cooper. Like, I texted this to everybody. Cooper is not a wide receiver screen guy, and maybe that could be the reason why it was thrown to him, hoping that some blocking did not happen. There was just a couple of really weird plays today that, again, I was hoping that if they were going to do early in the game, they would go back to it later as a fake, but it never happens that way with Kellen. So I don't know. And like Evie said, man, there's something about McCarthy and his inability to have any urgency in terms of the clock. I was joking earlier with him that he doesn't believe in clocks. He doesn't own watches that work or clocks that work. He just does it to show off and make people think he's normal. So I just don't really think the guy has any sort of knowledge about clock management, or that he just doesn't care. A lot of the stuff that he's doing could be chalked up to the analytics he spent a year in a basement going over with a bunch of different coaches. I think we need to start thinking sort of outside of what we've known for all these years, because I think that's where McCarthy went with his concept of coaching. He decided to do something different than he had been doing this whole time, and studying analytics and using other ways and means than the norm to create and craft an offense and defensive scheme. So I don't know, maybe we're just seeing some stuff happening that we're not used to seeing, so it looks odd to us, but there's no getting around Dak not looking, at least not last week. It looked a little better this week. He just doesn't look like his usual self. And I think once the continuity happens on the O-line, then we'll be good. But when Tyron comes back, that could be another problem, because then we're putting somebody else in a different position and things, that's the problem with mixing up the O-line, man. I hate seeing it, but it's a good problem to have. We got a lot of good backups.
Yeah, I agree. We got a new watcher checking in. Gabriel Garcia's got a question. Said, I've seen this. Rashard Breeland was let go, I think, of the Minnesota Vikings. I don't necessarily think we need to pick anybody up or do anything. I mean, I don't know. Can we even at this point? Like, I think pretty much the guys we got or who we got to have to run with. I mean,
you can pick them up. Once you release, you can pick people up. Breeland's a good cornerback.
Yeah, but you guys know, you realize how, we've had to activate and deactivate players in order to get them to move up into active spots on the rosters. So adding somebody else to this equation is going to almost permanently bump somebody from the roster. But I mean, I feel like Breeland was with us for a little bit, or maybe it was another corner that sounded like that. I don't know. I feel like Brashad actually played with us for a small time, but we cut him. But if we did, I don't know. I don't think corners are really a big problem with us right now. Our safeties and our D line is doing enough so that our corners do what they need to do. Brown is a little suspect.
Even Anthony Brown was out there, at least not getting mossed. You know what I mean?
Right.
Somebody got Diggs today. So Diggs with his 10th interception, he gets one more interception. He ties. What's that guy's name that used to play for Everson Walls?
Everson Walls, baby. Everson Walls.
We were just Eric and I were just talking about watching that squad as a kid, man. I mean, Walls was a guy that transferred over. He stayed over when Jimmy Johnson was there, if I'm not mistaken, because JJ was coaching him. Maybe his last year or the year before, kind of before the Everett years and stuff like that, or during the Everett years. I'm sorry. So yeah, he's a throwback, man. He's an old school guy.
Jeff Coates too. Jeff Coates stuck around for a year.
Yeah,
there's a couple guys that stuck around for a year.
Yeah,
we just happened to have Michael Irving, which was nice because we're Miami boys. So Michael Irving stuck around because he was from Landry, carryover. So there's a nice little carryover. But CD needs to catch the ball. Barry, I think he needs to get the equipment manager that is better at changing from a visor to regular, because he was clear coat and he had trouble in the first half catching the ball.
I think he's too concerned with the run after the catch. I think he's worried about trying to break a big one, and he's not focusing on catching the ball. I don't know. That's just me. I've never played wide receiver at the NFL level, but clearly there's some lack of focus there.
There's a definitive difference in every single 88 who has played the game for us. Going back to Drew, number one, there was a major finesse, and it's not just because all those NFL films were basically in slow motion all the time, so it looked like they were all fluidly moving. But there was something about the way Pearson caught the ball that was more finesse, and the game was a little more finesse back then. And then you had Michael Irvin coming in playing the gritty, raw, over the middle, 3rd and 5 kind of shit, doing stuff
best ever,
definitely playmaker. He was the guy who sacrificed his body always to make that play for us, and he was the deep threat too as well. But then you got Dez, who came in and sort of embodied a lot of both of those things, where he could finesse, but he was also real gritty. He had more of a TO effect. And I think to your point of what you're saying, CD is a little bit more a thinner guy. He should be definitely have the ability to be a possession receiver and a rack and a yak receiver. But he really does. He worries a lot about turning up field. So I think that causes him to alligator arm some catches, because he knows he's going to get hit and can't turn up, instead of just saying catch the ball and get those yards. And that may come with another 15 pounds in the weight room. Who knows? I mean,
it's funny you say that because, I mean, the kid has bulked up. He's a lot bigger than when he initially came in the league.
Yeah.
But I think that mental toughness is where we're trying to get, where you talk about the Drews, we talk about, you know what I mean, the Irvins, the guys laying their bodies out on the line, making those catches, not worrying so much about, you know, the play after the catch. I think we just got to realize, get your hands, if you can touch the ball, you need to catch it, then decide, you know, if you're going to get hit or whatever, make that football move after that. But John Garcia's dropping in. Appreciate that. All of our viewers here today. If you're watching for the first time, give us a comment. Let us know where you're watching from, especially on YouTube. Trying to get our YouTube subscribers back up over there. So thank you all the folks from YouTube chiming in. But John saying not pretty, but I'll take it. And again, too many drops by Lambs. So yeah, I think we've silenced of the Lambs at this point. I think we talked about CD enough, if you follow what I'm saying.
Look, everybody, focus on this one big fact. Forget about all your opinions. Get down to the facts, because that's the way OAT, that's the way the BDG group is. It's the way it always has been, man. We won a division game in a division opponent's house, okay? And we did it last week too. So that's 2 games on the road against division opponents where we've won. We're going to go home and beat that same opponent again, hopefully, and then have to host the Cardinals and then go to Philly. So I think everybody needs to pump the brakes on panicking too much right now. Yeah, the offense needs to tweak some things, but if what everyone has been saying since I was alive is defense wins championships, then we have nothing to worry about, right? Just let the offense fall in place. We just beat a division rival in New York.
Only had one big play where he's playing defensive back, but still he broke up the play. But I mean, we didn't see too much of him. We seen Tank punching the ball out. We seen Gallimore getting in there, mixing it up. You know, Gregory was putting pressure. I mean, we got great pressure on him, especially they had 3 quarterbacks in that game. But thank you, Stephen Keever, for checking in. He said CD had 6 receptions for 50 yards on 9 targets per ESPN. So, okay. We went from 4 to 3, but still, we got to have the playmaker, especially, you know, CD's got to catch those balls. So let's move on from that. But yeah, defense does win championships. And first, we got to win this division. So we got the what the fuck team up again next at home. And I think Caitlin was chiming in here. She brought up a very good point. That Arizona game is going to be huge for seeding, because we know they're going to bounce back from that Detroit loss today. Yeah. That's still going to be hyped up. The game has been flexed to a later time slot to garner more eyeballs. So, Bob, what are your thoughts about this what the fuck team coming back that we just recently faced heading into this next week?
So here's the deal. Attached to what you just asked me, the fact that we had Micah predominantly in middle linebacker today is a beautiful thing. It's where I've always felt like we need him. And again, they were talking throughout the game about being able to put him anywhere on top of different stacks, so that he's able to rush the inside guard as opposed to running from the edge. The thing about Micah is, wherever he is, you're going to have to look for him. And so he's already effective by putting on the jersey and showing up for the freaking game. So having said that, I think that it's going to be easy for everyone to assume that since Washington played us last week and decided this was bad, we didn't do this, we didn't do that, that we're going to do this, this, and this. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to do exactly what we did, and we're going to bust their ass one more time. And maybe they'll find a way to counter one thing that worked for us. But we seem to be this evolving team. So we're not getting – the thing about being inconsistent on offense to us is making it just as hard as for another defense to scheme that. Because the things that you can't account for are the mistakes you might be able to make, or maybe the reads you're not making correctly. And then some things are happening maybe by mistake, but you don't know because the offense is not really clicking. So as a defensive coordinator, I don't think you can scheme for that effectively. So that may be keeping people on their toes too, but they're not getting any healthier. We beat the hell out of Heineke, and I don't know if he played today or if he's playing against Philly or whenever they play, but they're going to beat his ass up. And anybody else who plays at Washington, I don't think Washington really has a shot against us, if I'm being honest, man.
Let me get your thoughts on the what the fuck team going into next week, Eric B.
Same thing, really. It's very simple that they're outmanned. I mean, we're a better team. We're at home. We have nasty momentum. This is a time for us to fine tune, get our guys going, 100% home cooking, and then really fine tune for Arizona, which will be a big seeding game that your friend said on YouTube. Thank you to Sarah. What her name was, I forgot. But yeah, I mean that's what it's all about. Like, keep this momentum going. We should beat up on Washington at home and not let our foot off the gas like last time and have a couple of mistakes. Just whoop their butt and then take care, and see what happens with Arizona. That's it.
Yeah, I think I've been waiting for this, this opportunity for us to really just ball out on a motherfucker. You know what I mean? And I was hoping that was going to be against the Giants today, but we couldn't get it going. Offensively, defense was all over it. Just Quinn and baby, we was doing it. But you're right. I think we gotta have to we have to have another convincing. We're gonna have to have a convincing win, another defensive convincing win against what the fuck team at home, and hopefully our offense can show signs of that dynamite as we head into Arizona, because that's going to be the one that everybody's going to be watching. You know what I mean? And I think once we get through the division and we clinch the division, we possibly win that Arizona game, which everybody's got us pegged for losing. I think we're sitting the starters in Philly on the last game of the season. What you guys' thoughts on that?
With the number 2 seed or maybe 1, who knows?
So yeah, depending. People are losing.
New Orleans tonight. That's a big game against Tampa, bro. I
might even watch that.
This is the best time of the year. When you're winning and you're taking care of your own business, then there's nothing better than that. You take care of your own, and then let everybody else scramble.
Win the game in front of you. Let the scenarios pan out. Just do your job. Win the game. It's ugly, but hey, haters, suck on that D, baby. We're 3-0 in December. This ain't that same Dallas Cowboys team that y'all been talking about for 26 years. Boy, I tell you, the rebuttals and things I see haters saying on this page, it's like copy and paste. You ain't done shit in 26 years. Dallas sucks. Oh, you're going to go down in December. Typical Dallas team. All of the narratives are being killed except for this offensive narrative. Once we get the shit right, it's going to be absolutely scary. They put it together when we get in this postseason, boy. Haters, watch out.
Yep. Amen.
Yeah, we got time. And again, if we're resting starters like we might be doing against Philly, that's just another great thing for us. Having the ability to do that is a big thing. I think going into December, like we have been, we had a pretty good game plan. I don't know if McCarthy had any clock management involved in any of that shit, but the way that we've been putting our defensive scheme together has been so massively disruptive, and no one can be discounted on that line. The fact that we had Odigizua out today, we had Tristan Hill out for COVID. The defensive tackles did a great job limiting. What's that?
Stacked. We're stacked on the D-line, bro. We're stacked on D-line. That's our biggest position. That's our depth. It's right there in the D-line. That's the best place to have it. O-line is actually a little better, hence Emmitt Smith in Super Bowl. So we need a little help with that.
Somebody brought up a comment. They said somebody didn't get a call on them. I think that was Stephen Keever or somebody. Where's that comment at? I was trying to find it, but there wasn't as many flags today either. There wasn't as many holding calls. There wasn't many it looked like the refs were letting folks play. I don't know what are your guys' thoughts on that. If somebody can chime in and let us know what the penalties look like, how many penalties were called that game for both sides. I'm going to try to find that comment. I think he said Connor Williams didn't get flagged for holding or something like that.
We actually got away, I think, on the offensive line with a couple, but again, that's the kind of thing that you'll see. Even hear the announcers. They said something today about that no matter what, you're going to get a holding foul on almost every play. But it's what's obvious and what do they have to call. I still think offsetting penalty announcements are a waste of time. It makes me feel like they need to justify their job. I think they can get on and go offsetting penalties and then just get back to the freaking game at hand. But now they got to make this big freaking to-do about who did it and this person. That shit doesn't matter to anybody.
Well, it does because when it's a personal foul, you have to keep track of that. Because if you get one, you're good to go in the NFL. You get a second personal foul, you're ejected. So you have to keep track of. They've evolved the game,
but they still keep track of that. I don't know if that we need to hear about that unless that is like you said. They're coming out with this is a personal foul moving forward. But they could cut it a little bit shorter. I think. But at the same time. Our penalties were a lot less today's than they were last week. I don't think that we needed to scramble so hard and so that we were committing penalties, but the penalties that we saw were jumping off sides because they were too eager. I'm okay with that sometimes. That's fine with me. That's a defense firing. It's defensive holding is what pisses me off. Defensive pass interference pisses me off. I wasn't really 100% convinced on the one that was called on us today, but whatever. I think moving forward, we are still one of those teams that can outplay some of these bad calls because we're showing that we can. And again, the defense is gonna pull us through these games, man. And the offense will step it up. We're too good not to.
Let's talk about the third phase of the game and special teams. Let's talk about Greg Zuerlein. Are y'all done with this guy or not? Like, I don't know, man. This guy, it seems, I don't know if I can put money down on him when it really counts. I mean, I was there at SoFi Stadium. I seen him with my own eyes kick that field goal. And that was Greg, the leg that I know. But I know he's had surgery before coming in. He's had to recover from that. But he's missing and leaving points on the board. Are y'all still holding on to Zuerlein here as Gabriel comes up and says we need for Zuerlein to concentrate on making field goals, 1 point or 3 points, make the field goal?
Well, Barry, honestly, you're so right. And Zuerlein is not the same since he had the hip surgery, but he has a good leg and this and that. But special teams in general, which is what you broke into this segment with, has played better this year than I remember in 20 years. Because we block punts, we've got touchdowns, we got pick sixes. Like, our third phase is actually really good, besides Greg Zuerlein, if that makes sense. So special teams, I'm very happy, although we didn't do much today with it, but like kickoff returns and kickoff coverage, like actually our special teams has been playing well, besides Greg Zuerlein missing 2 extra points and a field goal here and there.
No, I'm glad you bring that up because, we didn't see much from our special teams today. You're right. That's a third phase of the game we didn't see, but we're going to need it at some point. We've seen block hits. We've seen Tony Pollard blaze down and return it. But, that's another phase of the game that we're going to need, especially if our offense can't seem to be getting on track. What's your thoughts on it, Bob?
Man.
Pollard, it seems like we're switching up a lot of people on returns.
They're not going to give him the reps. They don't want him to touch the ball unless it's a running play. I'm
okay with that too. Again, man, I don't really like star players. I feel like specialty players need to be the ones returning punts and kicks. I know that there's a lot of times you got a great fast wide receiver like a Christian Kirk kind of guy or whatever. Or the guys that haul ass. You want to get those guys the ball, but having CD back there, I don't love that. I don't love having Pollard back there all the time. I think Pollard is better suited to be that guy returning kicks if he's not playing as much of a workload as he is now.
What about Deion Sanders back in the day? You liked having him back there?
Well, if we had anybody on our team,
category by itself.
Yeah, I was gonna say if anybody was close to prime on our fucking team, we'd be screaming that. But
I'm just happy that we didn't see Micah Parsons line up at running back. God, the media over there was writing that shit up, click for right. I'm like, please.
Hey, he covered Galloway. He covered that right wide receiver one-on-one Galladay really well. He can do it all, man. He can stop that run. He can blitz. He can stop the run. He can fill a gap. He can cover, man. Flat.
I guarantee you. I tell you what. Maybe not running back, but you put that dude in as a fullback blocking for a running back, and you still got yourself put on your ass.
Bro, don't fix it.
No, you're right. You're right.
I'm low key, you know what I mean, about putting CD Lamb in the backfield too. We've seen him line up, even though he was a decoy today. And
we need more of that.
Yeah, we had the burst. We had the burst with Pollard. We had the bruising with Zeke. Zeke was getting yards. Y'all see that when they put Zeke for like an extra 5 or 7 yards? Or was it a third down play or whatever? I was like, that's the teamwork we need.
Yep, we're getting there.
Yeah, we're starting to get where we need to get. But again, chalk it up to a great victory in the Lions' den, if you will. They might not have been a strong bunch of Lions, but they were still an NFC East opponent. They're one of our biggest rivals. We beat them straight up. I'm feeling good about this, man. At least we won by more than I was thinking we were going to win at some point. Because if they went and scored at the end of that game, then we would have just been up by 2, and it would have been a completely different conversation possibly right now. But
exactly, they scored another touchdown at the end. It looks like a totally different game. But holding them to 2 field goals, they had 3 quarterbacks out there. Everybody's going to say in the media, oh, the Cowboys were supposed to win this game. They're supposed to win this game. They had Jalen Smith. They signed up on the practice squad and brought him. The narrative is coming. But nonetheless, like my man Eric B says, it is a good feeling when your team is winning. And it's this part of the time of the year where it's exciting, where every game matters. Clinching and seeding and things like that. We could potentially clinch tonight, they said, I believe.
Yep.
So let's talk about that scenario as we get into this segment here. Bob, I know we were going over that. Let's talk about seeding and clinching. So we've done our part today. What has to happen for us to clinch tonight?
All right. So, and I would love for this is just something I can see something and remember it. So I remember seeing these things. If I'm wrong, hit me in these comments and let me know I'm wrong. Bob, Cannabis Cowboy, this is the real deal. But I'm thinking if either the Saints lose or the 49ers lose, we automatically clinch a playoff berth. We're in the playoffs no matter what. And since we did beat the Giants today, I believe Philly has to beat Washington in order for us to clinch the East, in order for us to automatically be the East champions. I'm pretty sure that's how that has to go.
Yeah, they all sound pretty good, B.
But you know what? Here's the deal. Those are still part of and connected to controlling our own destiny.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So if had we not done that, we would not be in a position to be able to say that we're able to get into this seed early. Right. Winning is what brought us to this bitch. So let's not discount any of that. Don't be so defeatist, Dallas Cowboys fan base. We are winning games when it matters. We are playing great games when it matters. No matter how we're winning these games, does it really freaking matter? Not necessarily. You know, you want to see these things.
3-0 December. We killed another narrative here.
When do you want to win? December, January. You want to win a lot during those if you have the chances.
I think Street Team Amy's checking in. Hey, we see you down there, girl. She says, I think the Packers and the Bucks both got to lose. So the Baltimore Ravens are playing the Packers right now. It's the Saints and the Bucks, or the Saints and the Pack, or you know what I'm trying to say, Saints and
the Niners.
Niners. Okay, there we go.
Yeah. And again, we're talking about a whole bunch of NFC teams. So all of those losses and wins are having ramifications. But here's the deal. These ramifications aren't going to affect us in a negative way. We're not going to be pushed out of a playoff berth for any of this shit. It's just about right. You know what I'm saying?
That's the worst fucking feeling as a Cowboys fan we've had over the last how many years. We're waiting for this team to win and this lose in this scenario to make the playoffs. Like, win the game in front of you, control your destiny. I think we've done that to this point. No matter how we like it, whether it's pretty or not, we're still 3-0 in December. We've got to be happy about that. So I do agree with you there, Bob.
Oh yeah, 100%, man.
The first goal of any coach going into the season is win your division. Win your division. If you can win your division, it doesn't matter what your record is. You win your division, you make the playoffs, and you probably get a home game. And that's what we're doing. So we can fine-tune it, get it going. Our defense can lead the way. Special teams chimes in, and I feel good because we're going to win our division next week for sure. We can clinch playoff, and we're going to get it going, and we're gonna do some good things. I really do think that Dallas is good, a good team.
So we got Washington next week, and then let's talk about this Cardinals game because I'm loving this. The fact that the Detroit Lions handed their ass to Kyler Murray, which grew up a Cowboys fan. He's from Allen, Texas. He's technically undefeated in AT&T Stadium. You guys know
he is. Yes. Because that's going back to his college years, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and he called us out. I've been tracking this shit since preseason. This guy said that Dallas was ass. Well, you were ass today, Kyler Murray, against Detroit. What's y'all's thoughts about that? We know any given Sunday, but I think that's got to make us feel better the way we may not be playing well offensively, but defensively. You know, them boys, they got to be happy about looking at Kyler Murray after they seen what the Rams essentially did to them after they choked up on the Rams, right?
Hey, sometimes you're going to be ass, but I'll tell you what, man. Getting your ass beat by ass, that's much worse, man. And that could be having a long-lasting effect. That could be double-edged too, man. We don't necessarily want to fight a team that has weaponry that is cornered. But here's the deal. They lost D-Hop. Hopkins is by far one of the greatest wide receivers in the game. That's a huge situation. They've got who is it? AJ Green, you said? I know they got Christian Kirk. But those guys do not add. They don't add up to Hopkins.
That tight end too from Philly over there. What's his name? Ertz.
Zach Ertz. I mean, he does some things too. But here's the deal, man. They're beat up. They're a little wounded. And if the reason why mobile quarterbacks like Kyler Murray is different than other mobile quarterbacks. He's super fast, super quick. He could bust you in one move and be gone. But the thing about those guys is they have to rely on their wide receivers to pull corners off of the line and their safeties to fall deep back enough for that guy to actually be able to make a run. And that's not what happened today. And I don't see that happening against our strong-ass defense. They would have to really have all of their starters in to compete with the defense that we have that we're going to bring them. I just don't see it being what we thought it would be. And don't worry. We're going to feel good about these wins if these wins happen, but they're going to tell you we beat a decimated Arizona team. We beat There's never going to be a time where everyone's going to praise the Dallas Cowboy fan base. So as a member of the Dallas Cowboy fan base, don't expect it. Just give it to each other.
It's just
That's the
haters
reason
gonna
we're
do what
all
haters
here.
do.
Exactly.
Haters gonna move the goalposts. They're gonna move the goalposts every week.
Yeah.
But still, I think the way that our defensive backs are playing, we had 3 interceptions today. Diggs got his 10. So they're licking their chops at Kyler, like, come on and throw it to whoever the fuck is on the field. I don't care. I mean, D-Hop had a couple busted plays against the Rams. I mean, the Rams gave us the blueprint. And thank you, Detroit. You had one job today, and you did it. Thank you for exposing the Arizona Cardinals so we can kill that narrative in the NFC, because now we see the Ravens and the Packers game is on right now. I'm watching that. So, it's good to get our win. Like Eric B says, we do our business. We watch these other games. It feels good to be a Dallas Cowboy fan this December in 2021.
And 21 picks from our defense this year so far.
Ooh.
Leads the NFL.
If you guys are happy about that defense and that win today, I need y'all to share this video. Help the Cowboy Cousins grow. Make sure you turn on your notifications. This is the post-game Cousins report. Now what I'd like to do is invite anybody that wants to come up on here and talk with us. I'm going to place the share link in the box. So make sure you're on Wi-Fi and you ain't got no freaky shit going on in the background. We'd like to invite you to come up here. Maybe give us your 2 cents, like have a bottle of water and you're like in the bed, like naked or something. You know what I mean?
Hey, I want to point something out too to those folks like myself who are massively superstitious. 2 weeks in a row, I sported my classic Darren Woodson jersey from West Coast Cowboy, because West Coast Cowboy got the look and got the hook. But 2 weeks in a row, it was all about bringing the classic defensive juju that we had back in the 90s. Darren Woodson led a great defensive backfield team. That's really where it started for a lot of us, but it also started on the defensive line. It's very similar to the kind of talents we have now. No, I'm not saying we've got a 1990 style defense. All I'm saying is you can hearken ourselves back. We've gotten very close to having stars in as many positions back then as we do right now. So having this Woodson jersey on is just making me feel so good, because really, honestly, man, the defensive backs on our team, we've been screaming about them for over a friggin' decade, screaming. They never make any interceptions. They never make any plays. Now,
21.
That's all they're doing, man. That is all they're freaking doing. We've got enough pressure from the defensive ends and the defensive tackles to make that happen. Our linebackers are good.
21 picks.
When we got Micah Parsons in as either outside or inside linebacker, LVE plays much better. He had did he have that fumble recovery? Was that one that got taken back? I don't know.
No,
but
they took it back.
He seems to be he seems to be a better player when he's got a better player near him. He's not the guy that we thought he would be in terms of taking over a game, but he does his job in a way as a big guy that helps us a little bit. And he's getting a little better when we have Parsons back there as a linebacker. And that's not to say we can't rush Parsons as a linebacker. We do that, and we do that effectively. But man, having Gregory one side, having D-Law on the other side, and having Micah possibly rushing your ass, or then maybe LVE, these are things that we haven't had the ability to have in a long time. So thank God for this defense. Thank God for Quinn building this defense through the draft, and for Jerry signing all, and through free agency, like you said, and for Jerry signing the checks and all the good shit. It seems to be clicking right now. I have a good feeling moving into the playoffs right now. We need to be really good to beat Green Bay. We could have already beaten Tampa Bay, but we need to be real good to beat these teams, because they got it all together. They got everything clicking. We don't right now. So that leaves us in a wild card position mentally to defensive coordinators, but it doesn't make us as fans feel very secure.
Well, Arizona don't got it clicking. They're number one. New Orleans.
That's crazy.
New Orleans can sidekick fucking Tampa tonight. And they might not have it clicking either. So we got it.
That would be a beautiful thing if the Packers lose and we get the what's his name out Tampa Bay to lose too as well. Man, I can't wait to see what these backpedaling narratives are going to be now coming into this week, because Dallas has just been taking care of business. And like my man Eric B says, it's good to take care of business and watch everybody else flutter around like we have these previous years. But I just think our defense is just probably got to be the top defense in the league right now. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck about Tampa Bay and all that shit y'all talking about. Like 21 picks, you said?
Yeah, their stats, it was on TV. They showed it. They have not had that many turnovers in a 4-game period since 94, bro.
Man. So here we go, talking about maybe it isn't a comparison, but it is a comparison. And I want anybody watching this right now, tomorrow morning, when they do that angry run segment that you always see on the NFL Network in the morning. I want everyone to go to Twitter right now and hit up that Kyle Brandt dude and make sure that he throws in Zeke carrying the lot of the defense today on that one run where he ran for maybe about 9-10 yards and carried the entire defense with him. I'm getting real sick of not seeing any of our players in an angry run. So
yeah, shout out
that
to
needs
my
to
man
be
West
there.
Coast, man. He's had the recipe. He's been saying it for going on 2 years now. I think the jury's still out on Kellen Moore. We still got to have some more play calling. But I think a lot of folks have realized this offensive line shuffle has actually caused Dak to have some of these problems that he's having. But, man, it's going to be scary once we can figure it out. Now, we got this one game with Washington that's coming up week at home. I think with these 2 home games, it's going to set us up real nicely. We can rest folks against that Philly game, which will be meaningless.
Yeah.
And then we go right into the playoffs after we watch how the fallout comes. So you're right. Go hit up Kyle Brandt on Twitter. He's a big-ass hater. Nobody gives Dallas Cowboys any love, even when we're winning. But we know the haters are going to continue to move the goalposts. So let's go ahead and wrap it up here, guys. Any parting thoughts, any words of wisdom before we get out of here today?
Much love.
Be happy, man. Be happy. We won a division game today. We won a division game last week. It felt like we were possibly not going to win that game last week. We almost gave it away. We didn't do the same thing again this week, man. We made sure of it, put it away. Next week, we got another division game. Forget it, man. It's all division games from here on out besides Arizona. So be happy. Take these wins. Defense is doing great stuff. We're finally doing stuff that people didn't think or want us to do. So keep going, Cowboys.
That's what's up. Y'all been watching the post-game Cowboy Cousin Report. It's been Bob BG and Eric B. Whole bunch of B's over here, but we got a whole bunch of W's in December, if you know what I mean. So choke on that D, haters. Dallas is 3-0 in the month of December. You know what I mean? We'll see y'all live on the next post-game Cowboy Cousin Report. We appreciate y'all tuning in. But y'all know what it is and how we do it around here, baby. You got to keep it what? You got to keep it football. We'll see y'all on the next episode. Hit subscribe, hit like. We'll see y'all then.
Damn, Jacob, this
God
shit
bless.
crack. You gotta keep it football,
Arizona Cardinals, ATL Falcons, Ravens out of Baltimore, this tailgate's jumping. Bills still from Buffalo, I bet they loving this heat. Panthers from the Carolinas, Bengals, Cincinnati. Dog pound in the house, repping Cleveland, Ohio. Denver on the scene, and they repping them Broncos. The weather beautiful, it ain't a cloud in the sky. I see them Lions, Titans, and Bears, oh my.
You might not like my team, we might be rivalry.
Whatever it is, make sure you respect me.
We gon' always trash talk in season and off.
But not too serious.
Gotta keep it football. You might not like my team, we might be rivalry.
Whatever it is, make sure you respect me.
We gon'